Right, we've got some breaking news coming in ahead of the crucial G7 meeting. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to the Russian President, and this conversation over the phone lasted for about 45 minutes is what we are given to understand. The agenda of this interaction was obviously the situation as it is panning out in Afghanistan. Remember, Russia was also a member of the G7 earlier when it was known as the G8, but it was suspended eventually. And Megha now joins us to help us understand the significance of this phone call that has come just ahead of the very crucial G7 meeting that is going to happen. Megha, over to you.
Priya, yes, a very, very important phone call, I would say, by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to President Putin, a 45-minute long phone conversation between the two leaders. And yes, as you correctly put, comes right before the all-important G7 meeting. But let me put all of this in context. Prime Minister yesterday has spoken to Chancellor Merkel also, and that too was a detailed, long conversation. And in both the conversations, the crux of the entire chat between the two leaders, I would say, hovered around the situation in Afghanistan. So you had Prime Minister Modi speak to Chancellor Merkel yesterday, and within 24 hours, he's speaking to President Putin about the developing situation, and PM has been speaking to other top leaders across the world when it comes to the situation which is developing right in our neighborhood. So while India, of course, is one of those countries that gets directly affected, we are also very actively removing our people from Afghanistan, and we've been involved in Afghanistan's development for a long time. Taliban's taken over now, but for the last 20 years, when there was a civil government in Afghanistan, India has not only invested heavily, but has also had very deep people-to-people connects with Afghanistan. And right now, it is a situation of concern for our country, and for the Prime Minister to pick up the phone and try to speak to other top countries across the world who not only are actively involved in that situation, but perhaps will be in the days and weeks to come, be a part of very important world decisions that are taken in context of Afghanistan. And I think in all of that,
as the blueprint of the new dispensation that will be taking reins of Afghanistan is now emerging. This multilateral engagement is going to be very crucial, and all eyes will also be on that G7 meeting that is going to happen today. Thank you, Megha, for joining us with that perspective. Taking a very quick break. More news and latest lined up on the other side.